We have just received a statement from the President of the United States about these explosive new allegations that his former chief strategist, Steve Bannon, is making in the new book. This is what the President said in a statement released just a few moments ago. Let's take a look at this, Wolf. He said, "Steve Bannon has nothing to do with me or my presidency. When he was fired, he not only lost his job, he lost his mind. Steve was a staffer who worked for me after I had already won the nomination by defeating 17 candidates, often described as the most talented field ever assembled in the Republican Party." The President goes on to say this: "Now that he is on his own, Steve is learning that winning isn't as easy as I make it look. Steve had very little to do with our historic victory, which was delivered by the forgotten men and women of this country. Yet Steve had everything to do with the loss of a Senate seat in Alabama held for more than 30 years by Republicans." The President then says this: "Steve doesn't represent my base. He's only in it for himself." Strong words here from the President, Wolf. He continues saying this: "Steve pretends to be at war with the media, which he calls the opposition party. Yet he spent his time at the White House leaking false information to the media to make himself seem far more important than he actually was." The President goes on to say this: "It is the only thing he does well. Steve was rarely in a one-on-one meeting with me, and he only pretends to have influence to fool a few people with no access and no clue, whom he helped write phony books." The President concludes by saying this: "We have many great Republican members of Congress and candidates who are very supportive of the Make America Great Again agenda. Like me, they love the United States of America and are helping to finally take our country back rather than simply building it up and seeking to burn it all down." So, Wolf, this statement here, which is, again, just coming in, the strongest words this president has had for his former chief strategist, Steve Bannon. Now, certainly some of the things in there deserve some fact-checking. The reality is Steve Bannon was involved in many meetings. At the very beginning, Wolf, you'll remember almost a year ago, the week after the president took office, the president signed off on including Steve Bannon as a member of the National Security Council. His office from January through August was only steps away from the Oval Office. So probably not true to say that he was not in many one-on-one meetings with him.